Welcome back to Stardew Valley. I am your host, longtime listener. Be sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and comment below. We've got a good luck day here, so that is good because on the to-do list today is a run to the mines. We need to start gathering a bunch more resources, including copper and gold. I don't know how we're doing on iron. I think we might actually be okay there. We might need a little bit more to finish our sprinklers, but not a ton. And the reason I'm not too worried about that is because we will also need to try and collect some coal. And generally speaking, the best levels to collect coal are the levels where there's iron, because that's where those little black bouncy dudes are, and a lot of times they drop coal when you kill them. So I usually don't have any trouble collecting enough iron as I go, because you end up having to go get coal in order to smelt, and in the process you end up getting iron as well. So also on the to-do list today, we are probably gonna try and upgrade our hoe and buy a stable. So one of the reasons we're gonna need some copper, because we need copper bars in order to do the upgrade for the hoe. And the upgrade will help us because in fall, well, it might not be too much of a bonus, but it's something that we want to do, because our ultimate goal, at least at the end of year one, it would be really nice to have all of our tools upgraded to at least gold. And I don't think we'll get farther than that, but gold is pretty good, especially in year one. Like, that might even be a little bit of a stretch goal, but if you can get to that level, it makes life a lot easier at the start of year two. But anyway, so I said we're going to upgrade the hoe, hopefully. We're going to try and get the stable purchased as well. And that will give us a horse to ride around town, and you move so much faster. And not only that, running through grass and weeds and such doesn't slow you down when you're on a horse. Where if you're on foot and I run through my grass fields, it slows you down pretty significantly. So you don't have that issue if you're on a horse. Plus, it's just nice to have the companionship of a horse. So, alright, how many copper does that give us? That's 5 total, and we're smelting some more, but we're running low on copper, and we're going to need a bunch more for tappers and for silos eventually, so we need to do some collecting here. So now I'm just kind of trying to get situated before we start running around town and doing some errands. So bear with me here. Anywho. So in the last episode, I believe it was the last episode, I think I told you about the sheriff's helicopter that was, finding its way around our neighborhood looking for a suspect. Turns out the guy, and I might have said this too, but it turns out the guy apparently was stealing stuff from a liquor store, and an employee confronted him, and he assaulted the employee and one other person, and then fled and ended up in our neighborhood, and that's where they tracked him down eventually. So they got him. But in other news around my homestead, today, when I woke up, I saw a news article, or like a update on social media, that said there's a tiger loose in the area. So, interesting times around East Tennessee over the last couple days, because it's not very often you see those kinds of things happening. And I don't know if I said this, but also yesterday, a plane, a small aircraft, had to make an emergency landing on the interstate about 5 minutes from here. So that was crazy. Um, everything went okay. Nobody was hurt, and then they just basically came and gave him more gas. And then there's footage of him taking off using the highway as a runway. And I will give you a free fun fact of the day. So for those of you who don't know this, the the interstate system, one of the concepts that was like kind of driving the interstate highway system. This was back in I believe, the Eisenhower administration. So there were wars going on at the time, and the thought process, at least part of the thought process behind investing in the infrastructure to build the interstates was that it might be a situation during war. If the war came to the U.S., our fighters might need to use highways as emergency landing runways. So that's pretty cool. But thankfully, World War I and II never really made it to U.S. soil, with the exception of Pearl Harbor, which was tragic, obviously. But like warfare, in terms of like trench warfare and some of the stuff that you see in like Band of Brothers type stuff, never happened on US soil, so that's good, and hopefully it never will. But alright, so we're off and running here. We dropped our hoe off at Clint's, and now we're up here to see Robin and purchase our stable. So we are oh yeah, here you see the house upgrade is 10,000 gold and 450 wood. Is that what it said? So we need a bunch of wood, y'all. Between, the houses and the other items that we're going to purchase, it's going to be... And there you saw the shed actually requires a bunch of wood too, on top of the gold, which I didn't think was the case, but anyway, that shouldn't be a big deal. So I like to put my stable up here. People put it all over the place. I've seen some that are like over here by the entrance to the farm. I like it up here on the north side because I don't do a whole lot else with that space other than some beehives I generally like to put up there. But anyway, you can put it wherever you want. Just try and think of somewhere where it's not too far out of the way so that you can get to your horse with relative ease. But also somewhere that it's like not in the way. So that that kind of limits your choices, but it's doable. So anyway, now that we got those couple of things done, and we're smelting some more copper bars, so we're doing okay. And I'm going to grab some more before I actually even head down into the mines, so that when I come back up for air, I already know that I have those two resources kind of like right where I want them, so that I can start smelting some additional ones. Oh, actually, I'm an idiot. I put them in there before I go down. It doesn't matter. We're going to get a bunch more once we're down here. We might not get any coal, though, so I probably should have kept some of that in my inventory. But not a big deal. So here we go, down into the mines. We're basically just trying to get as much copper as we can on this run, because like I said, we still have to make a bunch of tappers and some and those require copper bars, and then we need a bunch more for our silos. So the general strategy is, obviously, if you see copper, go get it, and then on top of that, you're looking for ladders to advance to the next level. You don't want to spend your time smashing rocks if you don't have to. So, anyway, I will say in advance, because I already, I played this earlier, and now I'm doing the commentary. Watch how much earth crystal we get on this run. We may set some sort of record when it's all said and done. We got one already, and there you could see the like there was fog or whatever that started to move in real quick, that basically means you're about to be attacked by a bunch of monsters. So that's when you want to try and hoof it out of there as quickly as possible. And now when I get to a level like this where I don't see any copper ore, you can either go back to the ladder and then come back down to a level and hope that there's ore accessible, or smash rocks. Now when I smash rocks, I'm usually looking for the ones that I know are going to give you a rock drop, which eventually you'll learn what those look like. But anyway, so we got down to the iron levels, and that's where I was, immediately hit the ladder, go back up, and then come back down to another level where there's copper. Now, these levels where it's dark, they start at level 30, and generally speaking, they tend to be the best for finding copper ore. It's usually the last 10 levels of each respective zone where you'll hit it big with regard to the type of ore that you generally find on that floor. So it'll be level 30 through 40, 70 through 80 for iron, and then I guess 110 to 120 for gold. And see how it's like got foggy now? Here come the bats. They're gonna start swarming me. So, I'm really just kind of hoping that I get a ladder from the bats, because a lot of times when they start coming, you'll hit one and it'll drop a ladder and get you out of that pickle. But anyway, so we're low on energy. It's 350. And I think this is where I start coming across a gazillion earth crystals, but maybe that was another mining run and I'm losing my mind. But I swear I got a bunch on this run. So I gave you foreshadowing and it was wrong. Possibly. So there's one that we put in the chest, so remember that. If this is the run where this happens, we want to keep track as we go. And while we're doing this, I will talk about our plans for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday the 16th. There's nothing on the calendar that we have to deal with in terms of events or birthdays. And we can't do anything at Clint's or really Robin's because they're both going to be working on stuff for us. So we'll probably just do some more mining unless it's a bad luck day. If it's a bad luck day, we might go fishing and try and catch the Dorado. I don't think we're going to catch an octopus this season. It's just too difficult of a fish to catch, and I think we will need our fishing skill level to be maxed out to have a chance to catch it. So we'll see, but I probably won't even try to catch it, to be honest, because there are better things that I can do with my time. So I'm starting to think that this is not the run where I get all the earth crystals, because it's already almost 6 and we only had that one, so I lied. But anyway, so we talked about our plans for tomorrow. I gave you one free fact of the day, so we're going to save the other free fact, or other fun fact. Well, they're all free, I suppose. All you have to do is watch the video, and you get it. You don't have to pay for these. So anyway, we'll try and maybe save the other fun fact for the next day in this episode. But, what else should we talk about, y'all? This run, honestly, is not going as well as I would have hoped. Now, we're getting a fair amount of copper, but we're running low on coal, as you can see. There's only 7 up there, and that is not even enough to smelt all the copper that I have. So that could become a challenge. And what I think I'm at this point, I decided this run is not going all that well, so I'm just gonna head back to the farm. So, but I'm taking some copper with me to hopefully smelt it back at the farm. And then I pointed out there I've only got 7 coal, which is not ideal. You see I'm leaving the bomb up here because bombs you're generally only going to use in the mines. I think it's the next time I'm up here that I realize, you know what? I should probably take those back to the farm with me. And the reason is I probably want to save them for the mines in the desert. And I will talk about my desert mining strategy if I haven't already. So here, basically now we're just kind of foraging before we head back to the farm because we got a little bit of time to kill. I don't come up to this train station area very often. Usually it's just a quick sweep to look and see if there's anything to be foraged. So there's not, and I didn't have my hoe because I dropped it off at Clint's, so I couldn't get that little artifact wormy. Anyway, the reason we save our bombs for the desert mine, there's a spice berry, is when you go to the desert mine, that's where you can find a lot of iridium ore. But the desert mine is different than the regular mine in that it does not save your progress. So there's no elevator. There's just a ladder in and a ladder out. And when you take the ladder from the top, you go to the first floor and you got to work your way down every single time you go up there. But the deeper you go, the more goodies you find. So there's going to be a lot more iridium ore. There's going to be higher chance of finding things like a prismatic shard, which is a very, very valuable asset in the game. And so, not so much valuable money-wise, but with other things that you can do with it. So anyway, what I like to do and what the general strategy is for most people who are trying to get very deep in those mines is you want to take a bunch of staircases and bombs and food into the mines with you. The food is really just in case when you get down there, for whatever reason, you get attacked by monsters, because the ones deep in the mines there, they're these crazy, like, flying dragon-looking things, and they do some serious damage when they hit you. So if you happen to get attacked by them, it's good to have some food just to recover. But you won't need a ton of food in terms of, like, for energy refills, because that's what the bombs are for. You use the staircases and get way down in the mines and ignore any ore that you see on the way. All you're looking for on each floor is a staircase or a hole that you can jump down. And if it's not there, you drop your staircase and go down. And you want to get down like 100 levels, y'all. And then start looking for ore. And at that point, there's going to be a bunch of it. And you'll just drop a bomb and wait for it to explode and like drop a bomb somewhere else, go back and get the ore that just got revealed by the last bomb blowing up, and you know, just clear out as much of the floor as quickly as you can using bombs, and then move to the next level, because usually when you drop those bombs it's going to reveal a ladder at some point. So anyway, you can make one run to that desert mine and collect a whole bunch of iridium ore if you do it right, but you got to have the right resources going into it. And that's why we'll stash as many bombs as we can in our box or our mining chest back here, as opposed to up at the other mines where they're not quite as valuable. So that was a pretty productive day. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more copper ore out of that, but it's not a huge deal. Something is going on with my headset where it's like getting a choppy, like a clicky sound or whatever. I hope that doesn't translate into the audio. I've noticed it every once in a while when I'm recording, and I just have a feeling that it's something to do with the, quality of the headset that I use. It's not a bad one, It's one that gets pretty good reviews in terms of a gaming headset, but for like recording quality, it's not the greatest. But I don't care enough to invest more into a headset for this thing, because I actually use this headset also for work, and I never hear that sound when I'm, listening to something when I'm working. It's only when I'm recording, so I don't know what the deal is. Alright, so now we're just kind of trying to tidy up a little bit here, and one of these days, I'm going to take a day and just, like, clean up the farm area. I would like it to be later in this season where I've already kind of got everything prepped and ready to go for fall for the most part, and we can afford to have a day where we don't do anything super productive and just kind of focus on aesthetics. And that'll probably be one of the last days of the summer. But we're getting close to another blueberry harvest as well, so that'll help. We should only be a couple of days away from that, and that'll give us more cash flow to invest into more. Ooh, okay, so we see there we got another, we got a really good luck day, so we will go mining, as opposed to going and trying to catch the fish like we talked about. So, what do we need to do here? I can't do anything with the geodes because Clint's is closed. So let's just go wandering. And you see, I saw somebody do this, and it is not a bad idea. They put their watering can on its own, like, line in your backpack, and then you can press tab to shuffle through those lines. And the reason I like it is because the first line is where I have all my general tools that start with my sword and my pickaxe, which you use mining, and that way I know that they're always in those two slots. And then eventually we'll keep all the other stuff in our backpack at all times. But I don't really remember where I was going with that. But anyway, I just kind of like having it on a separate line like that. For whatever reason, it just feels like it makes sense. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, it is nice having this upgraded watering can. I'm not going to lie. It makes me happy to not have to fill it up constantly and to be able to hit 3 spots at once. So, oh, the dog's barking at. What else do we need to do today besides mining? I mean, I know we just kind of talked about either going fishing or going mining. I don't really have that much else to do. I could go chop some wood, I suppose, because we will need a bunch of wood. I think we're doing okay on hardwood for right now. We will probably need more eventually, but at the moment, our supply is pretty good. One thing that I will at some point want to have a bunch of hardwood for is fences. Because I like to build my fences out of hardwood. Now, it doesn't make a huge difference what you make them out of. However, fences can break down over time. So the better quality material you make them out of, the longer they last before they start to break down. But fences ultimately are mostly for aesthetics. Now, they can also be helpful to keep your animals penned in to a certain area. Like, I like them for pigs because pigs will go and dig up truffles if you let them out of the barn, and the truffles are like $1,000 a piece. So you definitely want them out there doing that, but you don't want to have to go hunting all over your farm to find the truffles. So build a little fence that keeps them in, and then you can just sweep through and get the truffles after you do your other stuff in the barn, whether you have to feed them or... Although I think by the time you can get pigs, you have the upgraded barn far enough to where it has an auto feeder. But anyway, we are talking so far down the road that I really don't know why we're doing it. Now, copper ores are being requested by Clint, as you saw there. And boom! We have just purchased a backpack upgrade. I did not even give y'all a hint that that was about to happen, but we had the money for it. There was nothing else for us to buy because our hoe is being upgraded, and we probably won't do any other upgrades with Clint for a little while. But then also, we can't really spend anything at Robin's right now either, because she's working on our stable. And by the time we need more money, because we have some upgrades to do, our blueberries should be about ready. So we can get the backpack upgrade, and that's just one more thing off the list. So we're also going to drop this stuff off here and complete the summer crops bundle. And the reward is a good one, y'all, because, wait for it, da-da-da-da, it is a quality sprinkler. So that's one less that we have to build. Yay! So we got some stuff done now that we didn't even really have on the to-do list. So that's good. And now with that upgraded backpack, I will pretty much keep all my tools on me at all times. Unless I'm going like into the desert caverns and I want as many slots open as I can so that, you know, when I get way down there and I'm blowing stuff up, there's worms over there, but I realized I can't get them because I still don't have my hoe. But when you go to those desert mines, you want to have as much free space as you can, because you start blowing stuff up down there and it drops all kinds of goodies. You know, on top of the iridium ore, you're getting stone, you're getting emeralds and other minerals, hopefully some prismatic shards. Plus you need, you're taking down basically a sword, a pickaxe, bomb, and food. So that leaves you with 32 slots open for the most part. Oh, staircases. Did I say that? I can't remember. Yeah, staircases would be another one, so 31 slots open. Alright, we're back at the mines. And we still probably need a little bit of copper. So this is the day with the very good luck. Like you saw earlier, I'm pretty sure this is the day that results in the crazy amount of earth crystal. So, count with me as we go. What are we doing here? Alright, anyway. So, I can't remember how many more copper ore we really need, or copper bars, but you can never have too many. So, I kind of did screw up not, going back and forth and looking for a floor with a whole bunch of copper, but it's really not that big of a deal, y'all. There is, and I've said this probably 100 times, there is no right or wrong way to play this game. So, you see like people asking questions online like, hey, how many melons should I plant in the first season? And the answer to that question is however many you feel like planting. But don't plant them too late. So. Alright, there's one. And I actually got 2 out of it. And there's another one. Now we're at 3. You can see it on the screen, so I don't really need to mention it. Plus, when we're done, you'll see it all, because I think I go and dump some off and then come back and collect some more. But anyway. And the earth crystal is a resource that is used for, let me pull up the wiki and I'll tell you exactly. I'm pretty sure you use it to craft like a cheese maker or something like that. Earth crystal, would you be mine? Alright, recipes. It's used for the mayonnaise machine. Which, okay, so when you get eggs from your chickens, you can put them into the mayonnaise machine and it will turn the eggs into mayonnaise, which earns you more money. And each mayonnaise machine requires 15 wood, 15 stone, an earth crystal, and a copper bar. So we're going to need more copper bars for that reason. And again, that's why I kind of say a lot of times you can almost never have too many of anything. But anyway, I need to think about how many chickens and everything we want to buy. Generally speaking, you want to have at least one or two of each type of animal. But there are a bunch of animals, because you can have regular chickens, you can have void chickens, there are rabbits, goats, sheep, cows, pigs, ducks, I forget what else, but there's a ton of different animals, y'all. And so, you know, if you go and the first thing you do after you buy your coop is buy 4 chickens to fill it up, then it's like, well, if I eventually want to have a void chicken, then maybe I only want 2 regular chickens. And again, it's one of those things where it's different strokes for different folks. What I might do is just kind of make a judgment call based on how much cash I have when I go to set the coop up. But anyway, we'll figure that out. So it's 3:40. We're on our mining run, and we're gonna be on this mining run for a while. There's another earth crystal. But why don't we take this opportunity to jump into our fun fact of the day. And for those of you who have been following and enjoy this point in the episode, I apologize for not saying it the way I normally do. So, anyway, today's fun fact of the day is that... Okay, so Alright, here's the fun fact. The British Empire was the largest empire in documented history. Which, you know, a lot of people think of like the Roman Empire as being the one that would kind of fit that bill. But according to the World Atlas, an empire is, quote, a group of nations or people that are under the rule of a powerful government or an emperor of a territory, usually larger than a kingdom. And the British Empire was at its most powerful in the 1920s when it ruled over, get this, y'all, 23% of the world's population. And that number is just crazy. Like, that just seems asinine. And that's in the 1920s. You know, that's well after... Oh, I was thinking like, oh, well, yeah, it's because maybe they were saying that that the American colonies were like under their rule, and they're saying like that all of the land that we occupied somehow makes it like geographically larger than what Rome covered. But no, that is not it. It's 23% of the world's population, and the geographical space that empire covered at the time was 13 million square miles. So there you go. You have your fun fact of the day, and we got 8 earth crystals on that run, which is more than we will need for mayonnaise machines, unless like way down the road I decide to have a chicken empire, which that is not going to happen, y'all. Actually, it would be a mayonnaise empire. So now we're on to the iron levels, because I think I showed you I need some coal. So we're coming down here, we're looking for these little black bouncy dudes, because they oftentimes drop coal when you kill them. So these levels are good for trying to collect a fair amount of coal. Another thing that you can do, obviously, is just go buy coal, but it's expensive. I think Clint charges like $400 a piece or something ridiculous. It's not even remotely fair in terms of market value. Let's look that up while we have a second. Coal. Boom. What do we got here? It is locations. Yeah, the dust sprites have a 50% chance of dropping coal. And that's just in general, and I think that number goes up. I mean, I assume that that number goes up when you have a good luck day, but I don't know if that's the case. Anyway. Oh, okay, you can buy it for 150 gold from Clint during year 1. Wait, okay, here. This is interesting. So you can use, okay, you can buy wood from Robin and turn the wood into coal using the charcoal kiln, and it's cheaper than buying coal from Clint. That's in the first year, though, because after year 1, Robin raises her prices on the wood that you can purchase, and it goes up. So then I guess that means another thing you could do is basically just chop a whole bunch of trees and throw it into charcoal kilns and turn it into coal. We might start doing that because wood is essentially a resource that you can replenish pretty easily. In fact, you know, we have our little tree empire down on the right-hand side of our farm, and at some point I might plant another tree empire in like the southwest corner of the farm and use it like just for tree harvesting, wood, you know, collecting. You know what I'm trying to say. We won't be using it for the you know, pine tar and maple syrup and whatnot. And there we got a goal accomplished, as you can see, and we got this insect head weapon thing, which is really weird, and we just sell it back. So we completed the cave insects goal, and we're really not that close on any of the others. Maybe bats might be next, but we're still pretty far away on a lot of those other ones. Not that that's high on my to-do list. I don't really care about killing monsters because I'm terrible at it in the first place. So for me to make it like a mission to achieve those goals would be kind of silly. What are we looking for here? I don't know. I don't know what I was looking at there, to be honest. Okay, so it is now late on the second day of this episode, and I haven't even talked about plans for tomorrow, so I'll give you a quick sneak peek at what we have on the agenda for the next episode. The 17th is Sam's birthday, so we'll swing by and see him. We might swing by and see Haley while we're at it. We need to pick up our hoe, and then probably another day in the mines, unfortunately. And then we'll see what we decide to do with the next day. But our horse will be ready, our stable, so that's cool. But now we're just kind of getting situated, and we've got a bunch of earth crystal, so we can actually probably sell several of those. Not that they're super valuable, but for me to be keeping them doesn't make a ton of sense. And you see the little scroll there that I got with the little red tie around it? There are 4 of those scrolls. There's, I think, red, blue, green, and yellow maybe. And you turn them into the museum, and I think when you turn in the last one, it allows you to understand Dwarvish. And there's a dwarf in the mines up there that we haven't met yet. You need to blow up a little rock to go get to him, but to me there's no point in doing so if we can't understand what he's going to say to us. So anyway, that is something to have on the to-do list for at some point during the game, but not critical in terms of game content, or achievements I should say. Alright, so we can sell more wild seeds. And we're continuing to do our cleanup here. I got to plant that water sprinkler, and then we will be done for the day, y'all. So another day in the books. We are farther than halfway through the first summer. And things are starting to come along. We still need some more some more quality sprinklers, but I think we will have them all built by the end of summer. Maybe not the last row, I guess, but 3 out of 4 rows, and 3 out of 4 ain't bad. But we might be able to get all of them. We'll see. I'll really have to do some more mining runs. But we've got 12 days, so we shall see. But that'll do it for this episode, y'all. I do appreciate you watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you have not done so already. I want to get more subscribers, y'all. Let's get it! And comment below, because there's lots to say about this game, and lots that I'm probably missing while I'm playing that you can, comment on. So anyway, have a good one, and we will see you all next time.